Another day, another classic Chrysler product. What is that thing? I don't know, but it sure looks at home here in the trees, doesn't it? Sketchy! You know, this is getting a little out of hand. Just a little. Well, what quality junk do you have on the trailer for us today, Jamie? Oh, what, this old thing? This is a Korean War era Dodge M37 truck thing. It's like a power wagon, but less. Less roof, less round, less heater, more chunkiness, and more batteries. Let's get it down to earth level and check it out. Oh my God, it's heavy. The brake pedal's stuck to the floor now and does nothing. That's a new feature. Working 8% smarter, cantilevering the trailer. Oh, come on. Well, this has to work. Oh wait, that's the wrong gear. Yes. Oh yeah, we're in low range. Crawl mode. Wow. It's like gravity do the work, yeah? Real neat feature here. If you delete the door check, you get a hyper-extending driver door and a dent. Well, let's see if it wants to run today. Choke cable stuck. Hand throttle works. Here's the key. Electric fuel pump. Come on now. Yes. You can do the old heel toe routine. Ew. Sure smells like gas. Yep. There we go. Wow. Still a no. Well, what if I activate the choke by hand? Well, why are you like that? Oh, yeah. Oh, really? Like nothing ever happened. Look, a flathead. If you've watched the channel at all, this 230 cubic inch Dodge flathead 6-cylinder should look very familiar to you. But only because they were used in every Dodge truck for 40 years. Oh no, I never noticed this before. Is that fiberglass? There's an air vent under there. Huh. This truck, like many of my projects, comes with a story. The story is, I got it running and driving and cleaned up and looking as good as it does before I ever started the channel. The deal was, I get this running and driving and do some other things for that. That's right. These two trucks spent many quality years in a barn next to each other. Oh good, rather conveniently someone preemptively loosened the brake master cover. That'll go well, I'm sure. Why is the brake light switch unhooked? Huh. Questions. Anyway, where was I? Oh yes, this was a cool revival. Of course it was before I was making videos, so I have no footage or records of that, but anyway. Incidentally, all it took was scrubbing the points and changing out the gas for, well, gas that would burn. That one was a little more challenging. If you know four-wheel drive Dodge trucks at all, you know that in the beginning, there was the Dodge WC. Of course, WC was just a letter designation for like all Dodge trucks in 1939, and it ended up carried over into the World War II trucks. Don't worry about that. The WC begat the civilian power wagon. And then in 1951 or so, the civilian power wagon begat this. They're very similar in many regards, but not the same. In fact, they're even less the same than I had assumed. The frames are different. The wheelbase is slightly different. A lot of things are different, but the drivetrains are mostly the same. I need to put this thing inside before it runs out of gas. Please hold. Much like other classic Dodge 4x4s, it has a fantastic crawl ratio. Whoa, Nelly. Don't forget to turn your driveline brake off. I'm pretty sure I put $20 of fuel in this thing 7 months ago, and that's all that's in it. Of course, 20 bucks bought a lot more back then, but anyway, where was I? Oh yes, I believe I was over here. Note the wide bed with a steel floor and fenders. They also have neat storage cubbies there and hooks for straps on a canvas top. Should also have wood bedsides here in that configuration. Some models had metal roofs. Most had this. Canvas should cover that as well. These trucks are neat. Of course, they don't say Dodge anywhere on them. They do tend to say things like US Army. Incidentally, all of the original insignia had been covered up, and I got it to come back with some very light Brillo pad? Whatever. It's the scuffy things. I got it to look like this. There's just not much cooler than that. This is original. This truck operated with the 4th Infantry. I know nothing else about the 4th Infantry. I am not a military history buff. I am a Dodge nut, so this is very interesting to me. Tire pressure, 40. Maximum safe refueling speed, 23 gallons per minute. Impressive. This truck was made in the 1950s. At first, I believe this was a first-generation truck, judging by the single blackout running light right there. However, today I noticed it actually has the spots for the later dual taillights. That's interesting. Maybe this thing's made out of 2 trucks. You can see here there's something missing. That is the shadow of a tool bracket. There would have been a little shovel and a pickaxe, maybe a hammer, don't remember. Of everything on the truck, the tailgate's definitely in the worst shape. When I got the truck running, it had a dead miss. One of the spark plug wires was, well, chewed through by a rat. So I got a set of plugs, and I asked for a set of wires for a 1952 or whatever Dodge. And when they said they didn't have those, I said, just go in the back and get me a set for a 1972 with a 318. And they fit perfect. If you're younger than 60 years old, you probably don't know what this is. That is an oil bath air cleaner. The air is passed over oil as it's drawn into the engine, and the oil catches the dirt. At least that's the theory. This truck has been fueled for many, many years by a Carter electric fuel pump. And because it's working just fine, we're gonna leave it alone. Initially, I tried to run it with the mechanical pump. I like mechanical pumps, and it actually worked. It just leaked really bad. So, back to the Carter it is. I can't think of what else to say about this truck right now. It's cool as balls. It runs okay. I think I need to beat the carburetor with a hammer a little bit. This truck and the Power Wagon sat in the same building together for like 13 years? Something like that. And when I got to it, all of the lights worked. And it cranked over with some fresh batteries. Heck, it almost cranked with the ones that were in it. It was relatively easy to get running other than the aforementioned crappy fuel problem. When I got to it, the brake pedal did something, actually. And that wasn't even a year ago, so... Then, after I was done with it, it went back to the same building, sat there for 7 months, and now it has no brakes, no lights, and it barely starts. Okay, I shouldn't say no lights. It does have this, which is amazing. It's also equipped with these super cool blackout lights. And these do work, but only in service mode now. Kind of weird. The little markers below did work, and they're super neat. Anyway, my main mission is fix all the electrical gremlins that have popped up and make the brakes work again. Look at this military-style headlight switch. Too neat. You actually have to intentionally unlock any of the normal light modes other than blackout. For safety, you know. There are also really cool data plates here giving weights, dimensions, specifications, telling you how much crap you can carry. Here's one with service data. Here's one telling you to slow the heck down. And here's one telling you not to be an idiot. Oh yes, it has had civilian type turn signals added on, and sometimes one of them even works. Oh, let's not forget the fresh air feature. That's just cool. Oh yes, it has vacuum wipers. And unlike the Power Wagon, they work. Here are oil bath air cleaner parts for, I think, the factory carburetor, which is gone, but that's fine. Ooh, jerry cans. Take in just the size of the 24-volt military generator. Can you believe it works? But if it didn't, it came with a spare. Neat! One cool thing about these trucks is they have a huge following. Much like the civilian Power Wagon, you can buy almost any part of this thing out of a catalog. The missing canvas top? No problem. Seat covers and foams? Absolutely. Brake parts? Fenders? Doors? Sometimes? Tune-up parts, of course. Engine rebuild stuff. And the entire wiring harness. We might just have to test that last one because, well, no, this is looking very great. We're smelling very great. I should fix the horn. Fine, but not because you told me to. Huh, I never noticed before it actually has a redundant hood stand. Neat. These trucks were pretty fantastic. They're 3/4 ton rated, they ride okay, they can carry all kinds of stuff, and they run forever. And for that reason, they were made for many years. And when the military was finally done with them, well, they got turned over to civilian departments, and they had their way with them for a few decades. As much as I'd like to take that off and be able to see the whole star, I can't. It's too cool. Well, now that we know each other a little bit better, I suppose we could do some work on this thing. You know what I'd really like to do? Drive it in the dirt. Climb over some stuff. You know it'll be amazing. So stay tuned for that.